As many of you will know, games set in the 40k or fantasy universes are always a little bit hit and miss, but it looks like Games Workshop are taking steps to change that. Some of the games produced under license from GW have been absolutely brilliant. And some of them have been, well, let's just call them not so brilliant. PC and console games made for Games Workshop are made under license, and that means that the studio approaches Games Workshop and says, we've got an idea for a game, we want it to set it in this universe, and this is what's going to happen, and this is how the story's going to go, and don't worry, it won't blow up any of your lore. Are you happy for us to make it? And Games Workshop say yes or no, but they don't have that much creative control how the product goes. So you'd actually think that Games Workshop would be really rigorous in who they hand the licenses out to. But that doesn't seem to have been the case. I've linked this in the description, but if you take a look on the Games Workshop webpage, you'll find this, the licensing description. It doesn't exactly make them sound like they are the gatekeepers of good quality licensed products, you know, or anything else that you will be distributing. It almost sounds desperate. I mean, okay, they mention, you know, a strong vision of something you want to produce, and a sound plan to make it a reality. It all still sounds a little bit woolly. I mean, if you're looking for an explanation as to why there are so many mobile games hiding behind paywalls, that's not a bad place to start. The good news is that Games Workshop are setting about changing all that. Eco Software, the studio behind the upcoming game Chaos Bane, reported that when they tried for a license, they had to submit a game design document and a delivery plan that would add up to them developing a game that people actually wanted to buy and play. The key part of that for me is the game design document. Now, depending on who you talk to in the game development community, will kind of largely inform what answer you get when you say, what's a game design document? I've linked one in the description. It's just a download for a Word document. It's really old, but it's not a bad example because it's quite detailed. It's done by a guy called Chris Taylor, for those of us old enough to remember him. And it kind of outlines everything that could be in one. They're not all that detailed, and some will say it's out of date. Some will say it's a really good idea. Some studios use them as Bibles. Some will update one or create one day one and never update it ever again. Hopefully, though, what it will do for Games Workshop is it will enable them to, first of all, identify concepts that are really, really similar and weed them out, and B, kind of give them a real flavour of where the game's going, rather than just a whole load of hype in a presentation about this is the game we want to make. We can only hope that the delivery plan will include some checkpoints for Games Workshop where they inspect the product that the studio is working on. I mean, clearly they're going to be interested in don't kill this major character or any of the major characters, don't destroy this planet, don't destroy that city. But I'm kind of hoping that they'll be able to look at the product and understand it in the context of the wider market and make sure that what's being released is something we actually want to play. Now, will this be successful in making sure that we don't get another disappointing game set in Games Workshop universes? Do you know what? I have no idea. I think we can measure success though on two fronts. Is if we get a lot more of the games that we want to play, that'll be good. But also making sure that the games that are advertised actually make it to release. I mean, there was a Gorka Morka game a while back and an MMO set in the 40k universes that never saw the light of day. Hopefully these measures from Games Workshop will stop that from happening, you know, and at least give us stuff that isn't bloody awful. Given the amounts of licensed products Games Workshop are allowing at the minute, the Funko Pop miniatures, clothing, board games, RPGs, all that sort of stuff, it's either going to go one or two ways. You're going to have too much stuff that they're going to be able to pay attention, or they'll be really dedicating staff to it. Either way, it looks like it's going to be a case of wait and see which way this ends up going. So I'll leave you some footage of Dark Millennium Online, the MMO that almost was, but never happened. Hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a comment as to what you'd like to see next. Keep drinking, keep gaming, stay safe.